everybody. Tuesday night, November 19th, time of recording this. Figured I'd save the happy whatever day for whenever anyone's checking this out. Garrett here in Metro Detroit. So take it easy today. And got the notification that there was some roster announcements made for Detroit City FC for 2025. And in particular, those that are initial ones, who's returning to the club, whose options are picked up, whose options were not picked up, returning back. So very early stages as far as the announcements go on there. So I think let's start off with the easy ones, the ones that we already kind of knew about, already kind of figured, and that was who are the contracts already set in place that we already knew were coming back to Detroit City, whether it was contract extensions announced this year, deals that were done last year or previous seasons. We knew already about Stephen Carroll and Devin Mensah, whose extension deals took place near the end of the season. We knew about Ben Morris, whose extension was taking place last week. Alex Villanueva was on a 2-year. He'll be returning back for year number 2 of that deal in 2025. We knew about Dominic Gasso's deal when he signed on with the club. Gasso will be returning. Was in fact back in Detroit post loan to Huntsville in MLS Next Pro. Was there for the playoff match. And then other names that will also be with him: Reese Williams, who had the contract extension prior to the start of the 2024 season, Carlos Saldana, who was on a year 2, and then that rounds up the 7. There were 2 options of this year that were exercised. That is, these are whether it's players that had a year and then it was up to the club to decide if they wanted to pick up the option for 2025. 2 of those options were exercised: Connor Rutz and Jesse Cedeno. I think Connor might be a surprise to some, but somebody who definitely had to earn his playing time, or earn his way into the squad and get the minutes and have such a big role as he did near the end of the season, becoming a regular in that Danny Dicio starting lineup regardless of the shape. Jesse Cedeno, who joined from Oakland in the summer, didn't really get a consistent run of games. I think obviously some might be surprised because of that they picked up the option, but maybe this was the plan in place for what how to approach 2025. We shall see. I do know that there is for anyone who has shareholder stuff, the owners meeting on Wednesday night, November the 20th at City Clubhouse. Let's now then go over to player options declined, but are talking with the club about returning. That's Ryan Williams, the English midfielder. We've been hearing rumblings they might be done just for being homesick. So for the fact that we're hearing that he's maybe coming back to the club, is kind of a cool sign. Somebody who definitely had made an impact when he stepped in. A couple big goals, one in the Open Cup, one at the end of the season against San Antonio. Now we go on to the options that were declined, and there was 3 of them announced. Elvis Amo at striker, Daniel Espeleta, and then James Murphy, which was confirmed. Kind of looked like James had written a farewell message on his socials a couple weeks ago but it was made official, and his option not picked up by the club. Daniel Espeleta also kind of made sense in a way when you realize that he was often one not making the 18. Elvis Amo, I suppose, is the unfortunate one when you look at the level of promise and you see the start, and then unfortunately I think another year with an injury, I think, is why unfortunately his option is not picked up for 2025. And then 3 players returning to their parent clubs: Victor Becerra for Chicago Fire from Next Pro, Abdi Salim for Orlando City FC, and then Laurent Kasiedu going back to Pardubice in the Czech League. I think that move itself is just a short-term while they get paperwork sorted out with his visa. So what was not announced was the players that were out of contract, and if they're coming back to the club or not. Those names are, and of course, Maxi Rodriguez and Michael Bryant are the two in the biggest mind, but also Laye Diop, Matt Sheldon, Brent Levi, Yazid Matthews, Nate Steinwasser, although we kind of have a feeling of what what we're about to hear with Nate, potentially calling it a career. So I think either we're going to get specialized messages, which it sounds like that those departing players of the club will be getting individual messages in the coming days. So, but that's the initials as far as of the current squad. So now we shall see what else happens in terms of who's in and etc. As mentioned, owners shareholders meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, November 20th, 6 p.m. Eastern at City Clubhouse. Danny Dicchio and Trevor James will both be there to talk. It's basically a season recap, so I'm sure there might be some fun questions. Maybe not. We'll see. So, but yeah, that's it for now. Garrett here. May all have a wonderful, whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday when you're checking this out. And yeah, we go onward.